the canal, they're coming up, they're migrating north, northeast up the coast. And they really like the canal. That concentrates bait fish early in the year. And all of the bait and a lot of the bait and a lot of the stripers that wind up all through the northeast come through that canal every spring. So it's a fantastic fishing spot.
So we're here in Massachusetts at the world famous Cape Cod Canal chasing striped bass. It's the first week of June, and it should be about prime time for stripers to be moving through the canal. We flew in from Florida yesterday, came up from the office, and we were able to put in a couple hours yesterday evening. The bite was pretty good. We got 3 shorts and a nice 33, 34 inch fish, and then we got out here real early this morning. I mean, that's key. The parking lot was full at 4:15 in the morning. Sun comes up pretty early here, about 5 o'clock, and we only got 1 bite this morning. Fished for a couple hours, got 1 bite, but it was a really good bite. 35, 36 inch fish, really nice fish. We let that fish go to swim another day. It's been a really good start to the trip, and we'll be back out here this afternoon. So a couple things that we're looking for, we rented bicycles. The great thing about the canal is you got the bike path that goes the entire length of the canal on both sides, and you can get a bike with a couple rod holders, put your rods in there, and kind of pedal along until you see some activity of fish, either fish breaking on the surface, busting baits, or birds working, or maybe you just see a rip that looks really good and you can stop and fish it. Number one, obviously if you see fish, busting on mackerel on the surface, make a long, accurate cast to them. We've caught numerous fish that way. Some of the best fish we've caught so far this week have been like that. The other thing that we're doing is we're getting here, 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m. when it's just first light. We're trying to fish right before that low tide, and the slack tide's been key. So we're basically just getting in a good area with signs of life, and making some long fan casts basically in an area. And the biggest fish that we've caught this week, the 48 incher, came doing that. Once the current starts moving, you can work an area by casting straight out and then slowly reeling real slow and letting that plug kind of swing in the current to get on some of these edges of the eddies, and we've caught some fish like that too. We planned this week specifically to hit that early migration of fish when they're first moving up into New England and moving into the canal. It's also the new moon for June, so it's the breaking tides. That's where the low tide in the morning is a negative low tide. It helps to trap the bait fish, the tinker mackerel, the bunker, the herring. It traps them here in the canal on those lower tides, and the stripers really feed hard on them. And it's a good time to throw topwaters typically. This week the topwater bite was a little bit tough. All of our baits came on swimming plugs, and in particular this plug right here. So this is the Hydro Minnow long cast. This is the 6 3/4 inch. It weighs 1 3/4 ounces and has a great weight transfer system in it. This is the green mackerel pattern. There's a lot of tinker mackerel in the canal right now, and the big fish have jumped all over this. We've caught over 15 fish on this bait right here in the last couple days. Very simple, setup. We've got 40-pound Yo-Zuri super braid in the white color. We've got 40-pound Yo-Zuri top knot fluorocarbon leader, extremely durable. We haven't retied 1 time in the last 3 days. Over 16 fish, 3 fish over 40 inches, all on the same leader, all on the same plug and same braid. Good thing about this plug too is 3X hooks. You don't have to switch them out. We've got, like I said, 3 fish over 40 inches, no issues on the hooks, putting a lot of heat on them with 40-pound braided line. The key thing about this bait for this week for us, 1, it matches the hatch with the tinker mackerel, but 2, it's castability. Minnow baits are tough to get a heavy one that's heavy enough to cast into the wind. The big thing with this, with that weight transfer system in it, you can really shoot it through the wind. The first couple days, it's been 15 to 25 mile an hour winds, and a lot of the guys on the canal typically throw some jointed baits by some other companies. Those baits are tough to throw even without wind, but when there's a strong wind like that, it makes it almost impossible for those baits to get the distance you need. You know, the Hydro Minnow LC is something we've seen in a lot of our other videos on Yo-Zuri's YouTube page, whether we've been in Panama catching tunas, whether we've been down in Florida in the winter catching, you know, big jack crevalles and bluefish. I mean, it's just an all-around bait you can use in a lot of places. It's just a great bait, very versatile, and it's one of my favorite overall baits that we make as a company. They're at Red Top, they're at Canal Bait and Tackle, they're at your big box locations in the area. You can find them at just about any retailer in the area, and you can find them online as well. Come in two sizes, 6 inch, 6 3/4, ounce and 3/4. For the canal, I would definitely recommend the larger size. So a couple of the key colors for this area are obviously bones, very popular around here, but my favorite is the green mackerel, especially with all the tinker mackerel in the canal right now. It's a perfect match to the you know, the bait fish that the stripers are feeding on, and it's been really successful for us. If you like land fishing, this is one of the best, you know, in my opinion, it's the best place to catch big stripers from land anywhere in the Northeast. If you've never been here before, highly recommend it.